I'm currently in the midst of my view farming with Haruhi edits on YouTube Shorts, so there's no better time to start off the habit of talking about anime I've literally just finished watching. Don't mind my chair. The Disappearance of Nagato Yuki is a spin-off of the hit Kyoto animation show The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and I love it quite a lot. If you are unfamiliar with my least popular series so far, then this is the show where I do a no-spoiler review of the show, talking about the animation / character designs, the characters, and finally the story, mostly to temper your expectations. This is the third one in a row where I think it's on this level or higher, so I haven't really tempered any expectations so far, but I'll get to it eventually. Starting off with the soundtrack, let's start with a surprise edition for this time. This soundtrack actually felt like what I expected out of a Kyoto animation show. I personally don't know much about the music process in the anime industry, but this felt at least inspired by Kyoani shows like Chunibyo. Hello, it's Editor Me here. On regards to Tatsuya Kato, which is the guy who did the composing for The Disappearance of Nagato Yuki, he also did Campione in 2012, Future Diary in 2011. He's done Fate Collide Liner Prismalia and Free for another Kyoto animation show there. He did Food Wars, obviously Disappearance of Nagato Yuki-chan, and Love Live Sunshine. Holy shit. Anyway, the reason I probably found him so, his songs so, recognizable is because of something I'll say later, but also because he did Campione. I likely recognize songs from my childhood. I'm a huge fan of Campione. I say huge. It's been a while since I watched it, but I have previously enjoyed it. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, he's got no Chunibyo listed here, so maybe he just took heavy influence from Chunibyo. But yeah, okay, thanks. Included but not limited to a scene in episode 9 which had the same song as episode 8 of season 1 of Chunibyo. I was paying attention. A lot of songs kept the vibes from Chunibyo, and if you know anything about me, that's basically the highest praise I can give. It felt very fitting and was perfect. I might give it a listen at some point. I'd give the soundtrack a 9 out of 10. Because it's so Chunibyo, let's be real. The animation. It's not Kyoto Animations. It's to its absolute benefit, however. This show isn't Haruhi Suzumiya, having a distinct style separated from the previous shows, whilst matching the vibe of the show it's animating is perfect. Very often going into these soft chibis and having softer colours. There are times where this isn't the case, like Koizumi's absolute lock-in and Haruhi thinking about the GOAT, John Smith! Honestly, scaring the hell out of me. It's very cute, and fits the vibe of the show. There is minimal changes from the character designs of the original show, other than missing the Kyoani art style, which itself has rocked from Don't Hate Me, K-On! Season 1 to present day. Taking a quick moment to gush over Kyoani's art style, progression, it's like watching a sibling, but like they've been working for longer than I've been alive. I love K-On! Man. Nagato Yuki herself has much softer features, same with Kyon. The only downsides is that it never fully felt like Kyon. We'll talk about that in a second. But a very important mention is Haruhi's fits, her outfits. Mostly during the last 2 episodes. Her fit at the summer home, of her with the tie and the hat and her hair up. Oh my lord! Also, the decision to keep her hair long was special. Me and Kyon, thank you. I gave the animation an 8 out of 10 for its cutesy vibe that fit with the tone and its softer colours. The characters. These characters will never fully be contextualized in this show. It's a spin-off, based off a single arc in the original show. It's probably its biggest downside as a show. You don't need prior knowledge to enjoy the show, however. It's just that the characters cannot be fully explored in another season of Nagato Yuki because it would require the context of the original show. It's like how if today's menu in the Emiya family decided to talk about Archer's trauma. They do differ from the original show for good reason. But that also means that it often feels like these characters aren't the same character until you see them in specific positions. In these positions is where they respond exactly how their original character would. What makes it great, however, is that they make these moments feel not out of character for the characters in this show. It's as if they were the same characters but in different circumstances. Kinda, I guess. Nagato Yuki suffers from this the most, but that's the opposite of a bad thing. If it's a bad thing for anyone, it's Kyon. Personally, it didn't actually affect my viewing experience. Kyon was close enough. He was like 90% Kyon and 10% spin-off, which is what I came for. Meow. The reason it doesn't affect Nagato is because it's literally on purpose. This isn't a debate. I say no spoiler every time, but this one's fine. It's a little tiny spoiler for both Haruhi and this. This show acknowledges the original character of Nagato Yuki. It's spoilers if I tell you how, but it knows. And let's not pretend that this isn't based off the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, where the major change results in Nagato having a different personality. Now, let's talk about the story. But before that, I gave the characters an 8 out of 10 because it's just the Haruhi characters but different. If it was Haruhi, I'd give it a 10. The story is typically me just talking about the genre. I'd say this is a comedy/romance. I don't know whether Slice of Life fits, but it's got a similar vibe to other Slice of Life I've watched. It's cute shenanigans with the cast of Haruhi Suzumiya. I am disappointed that the namesake doesn't come into play until episode 10, but what can you do? I do have my complaints about the end of the show, but no spoilers. It doesn't end weak, however. It ends exactly how you would expect one of these shows to end. I do however think that a big part of the enjoyment of this show comes from all the references to the original. Not only that, but the comparisons to the old characters and the implications. It's not required. You could enjoy the story it has here, which I would say is unique, without having experienced Haruhi Suzumiya. It's a different genre, and you aren't expected to watch something you might not like, or might not even be your favourite, just to watch a comfy and cute group do shenanigans. I gave the story an 8 out of 10 for 2 more parts of Endless 8. I saw it coming, however. Doesn't ruin it. To finalise, The Disappearance of Nagato Yuki is a very light-hearted comedy/romance with the crew of Haruhi Suzumiya, kind of being the opposite of its namesake. I think it's worth a watch if you want something comfy. If you want more Haruhi, then this has more Haruhi, just not a direct sequel to the show. I've been doing my damnedest to get Kyoto Animations to make a season 3. I haven't even read what season 3 would cover, but the book's on my personal Insta, along with beers that took me 3 months to drink. Crazy. It's not KyoAni Animations, but it's nice and the music is worth listening to. Basically, this show is an 8 out of 10 for Endless 8. I should make this a tier list so I don't have to make it at the end of the year. That's for editor me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.